Deputies at the National Assembly Tuesday rejected the Judicial Officers' Remuneration and Other Entitlement Bill for 2023. The bill was presented by the Attorney General and Minister of Justice, Yahya Jammeh, on Monday, 4 September 2023, for merits and principles of the bill. And here's more details of that in this report.
Following a lengthy debate on the bill's merits and principles during the second reading on a table of 34 members, the bill failed to advance to the third reading stage after a handful of the deputies rejected it. Majorities of the deputies opposed the bill's progression to the third reading, with some of them expressing support for the bill and suggested that it should go to the committee stage for a thorough examination. However, others argued against it, stating that the bill was discriminatory, not citizen-friendly, and economically unsound, among other criticisms. Meanwhile, the National Assembly member for Fonyi Bintang, Bakari K. Baji, said his rejection of the bill was in defense of the interests of every Gambian in a democratic country.
We will stand to defend the interests of this country, because we know that this country, the fate of it lies in our hands. Referring it to the committee will give more room for interference constantly without rest, and we will never accept that. For how long have I been crying for the welfare of the teachers in this National Assembly? The Minister of Justice could have bring something, a bill that will combine the restructuring of salaries for all the civil servants of this country to make the Gambia a better place. We all know the problem is not in the judiciary alone. The problem is not in one of the sectors. It's in all sectors. And if the teachers are to cry here before us, some of us will not be able to go home. That is the problem that the Gambia is in. But now, we want the legislature to scam, the judiciary to scam, the executive to scam.
Member for Sandu constituency, Ibrahim Ajaite, also highlighted his argument, saying that the bill is not citizen-friendly and not economically wise to the budget of the country.
Believe that this bill is not a citizen-friendly bill. It is not also a budget-friendly bill, owing to the fact that just some days ago, the Honorable Minister responsible for finance was before us here. He has alluded to the difficulties, that the constraints that we have in our budget distribution. We have sectors, education, health, and other sectors that are crying for budget shortage. And the time of bringing this bill is not favorable.
Attorney General and Justice Minister Jallow stressed his concerns and opinion as to why the bill should be endorsed by the NAMs in the interest of the judiciary.
Now we are Gambianizing the judiciary, and we have, like I said, we have now seen 2 judges retire, and there is no legislation talking about their gratuity payment or their pension. So we said, no, then there is a gap. If we have it as ministers, MPs have it, judges should have it. Fair. Bakau also made mention similar to Busumbala and other speakers, directors, nurses, but my answer will remain the same. They are under the larger public service purview, and I agree with members who emphasize that they cannot be left behind. There is a need for that review too. I'm not directly in charge of that. So those of you who say, Minister, take your bill back, and when the entire review is ready, you come. I'm not in charge of that. But this one, I'm in charge of the justice policy, and we're moving. But not all sectors move at the same pace. But we take your word for it, and we take note that there is a need for a general overview or review of other professionals as well.
National Assembly members ended up voting 18 for and 21 against to reject the controversial Judicial Officers' Remuneration Bill. The bill aimed to enhance salaries, allowances, and pension entitlements of judicial officers. However, The majority of the Assembly members felt that other sectors should have their salaries adjusted or increased before the judiciary.